Tim, how are you?
I'm good. You look like you're in a black hole, a spaceless, you're floating in space.
Um, yeah, it doesn't feel that way. I don't know if it's how the camera makes it look, but sometimes it's better than seeing what's really happening in my house, which is just a pile of dishes and clothes everywhere. And so,
Same. To be clear, this is not how this usually looks. This requires a mad scrambling 5 minutes before we're supposed to go on camera. But I've had this weird thing that has happened since the pandemic started where I've found it difficult to cry, which seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, I get it.
But this movie did it for me, and I felt like I needed it. So
Oh,
thank you for
good.
that. Yeah.
Cool. I hope it was a really good long one that was embarrassing and that your face looked just bizarre and
The
neighbors
ugliest of
called.
cries.
Yes, good.
Okay, I have to start with something that I found so sweet in this film, which was your nickname for Jason's character is Fruit Loop. And he said that it was actually especially sweet coming from you because you guys have been friends for such a long time. So there was almost something added in that. Are you a giver of nicknames in real life?
Yes, everybody that I know. Like, I don't think I call one person by their actual name.
So what is your nickname for Jason? Do you have one?
Buster.
Buster?
Buster.
Love it.
Yeah, it's been that forever. It's so weird.
Does he have one for you?
Buster and Buck.
We have a really sweet friendship, even when we're at a distance from each other. And it was very easy for us to do that on screen, I think.
When you are that close to someone, is that a help or a hindrance when you are actually acting with them?
Well, with Dakota, it was a help. I suppose the only time it can be a hindrance is if you only make movies with your friends and it becomes more about having fun than, like making sure the thing is good.
Right.
It's good. That's a good problem to have, nonetheless. But no, this movie that it was very helpful. And I didn't know Casey at all. And I would say that that was also very helpful because, the story of our platonic friendship is two men getting to know each other and becoming increasingly intimate. And we got to do that on screen, we got to get to know each other in real time on camera. And I thought that was pretty special too.
Well, can you talk a little bit? I mean, everyone is really so extraordinary in this film, such natural acting and authentic acting styles. But can you talk a little bit about your daughters in this film? Those girls were amazing.
Yeah, they're incredible. Isabella and Violet, they're just really talented little girls and have incredible work ethic, like to be learned from. Jason and I were like, oh shit, we're professionals, and we're just like goofing around the whole time, and they were very serious.
What is it with you and the sad movies, Casey, that always make me ugly cry?
I don't know. I've gotten that question a lot. I don't understand it myself. I have tried to do movies that were fun or funny, and I guess no one saw them. There's a couple of them out there, and it's probably just as well because I don't seem to do that as well as I do drama, I guess, based on what the world thinks. But I gotta say, one of the things I love about being an actor is you get to sort of take all of your junk to work with you and work it out there on set and doing these kinds of movies. Most people, they have to keep their feelings at home and show up and punch the clock and do a job, and I've had those kinds of jobs too, but it's nice to be able to go to work sometimes and have a good cry yourself.
Well, to that end, I was wondering, I know in certain roles as an actor, you can learn new skill sets to play that character that could be applied in real life. Does that same thing happen with emotional parts?
It's probably the only way I've learned any emotional skills. I mean, it's true. Some actors, they get a lot out of playing, a fireman, and they get to go train as a fireman, or playing a chess genius and they get to go learn how to play chess for a few months. I end up doing these movies with people who are dealing with tragedies and their life is in crisis, and maybe I've learned how to deal with tragedy and crisis. So And that's as important a skill as any, especially right now.
Do you have to decompress after shooting a film like this? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think that, you know, especially with this movie, we all really fell in love with each other. It was like we loved making this, and it was just a beautiful time. We loved being in Fairhope, Alabama. I just loved being there. And so it was a little bit like mourning the loss of the film when we finished it. But the thing, I guess, you know, that was the most difficult was playing a person who was so vibrant and knowing that she's no longer alive, and that there are so many people who have lost their lives. And even especially now, it's really difficult to think of the number of people experiencing immense loss. And, you know, ultimately, yes, it's hard to play with heavy subject matter, but we're also just so lucky to be able to do this job that at the end of the day, it's like, all right, it's okay.
What is your personal definition of friendship? Because I feel like that is something that, if we are lucky, evolves over the course of our life because we realize the deeper meaning in it.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know that I have a definition of friendship, but I do know what it feels like. And I know that over this period, especially when we've all been so isolated, the people who reach out for no reason, who just send the text or make the phone call that says like, hey, just checking in, has meant everything. Those little connections of like, I am not alone in this, even if I'm sitting alone, goes a really long way.
Very true. Well, thank you for your time. And listen, as for your comedic skills, Good Will Hunting is my top 3 films of all times. And why we got to do this now that we got snacks is like one of the funniest parts of the movie. So thank you for everything. Great to talk to you. Please stay well.
Thank you. You too. Nice to see you.